change. Because if I don't change, I'm going to do this the rest of my life. I'm not going to do nothing for the rest of my life. Because I was starting to like it. You can look and laugh all you want. Some of you off a week and don't want to go back to work. At least it took me 9 months. But I got so used to it, I was getting ready to make this decision. I'm never going back to work. This is fun, doing nothing. But then I realized I had some work to do, and I went back to work. Full-time in the School of Ministry. Full-time. I was working part-time during that other time. That was fun. That wasn't work to me. But then I got a full-time job, and once I got the full-time job, then I started working all over again, never stopped. And guess what? I'm not going to stop again. I learned something in that year. I'm not going to stop again. Because, see, the older you get, it's harder to restart. You know why? Because your body doesn't want to. Your body doesn't want to get up and go meet the man. Your body doesn't want to be at work at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whenever. Your body, once you get used to sleeping in, you don't want to get up anymore. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Because it don't take a whole lot. That's why I'll never retire again. You can forget that. I'll work I'm going to do just like Jesus said, all the days of my life. I'm going to do something. Because if you get used to stopping and you stop and you make that decision, that's it. You bound for the graveyard. You are on your way to the grave. Your body's going to shut down. You're going to get lazy. You don't want to do anything. Everything slows down. You don't want to eat as much. Now, you know something wrong with you. You don't want to eat as much. But that's what happened because your body shuts down. And the only thing you want to do is sleep. That's because your body is shifting into that rest mode. And you start off by sleeping 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours. And then you sleep all that time, 13 hours. You say, I've been asleep that long? Uh-huh. And guess what? I don't even want to get up either. I'm going back to sleep after 13 hours. Because your body wants to sleep. You're training your body to sleep. But you're training your body to sleep forever. Just don't know that. See, you're created for activity. You're created to be busy. You're supposed to serve him how long? And serving is working as hard as a slave. So you don't get to that mode where your body shuts down and is ready to die. It's going to die all by itself. Don't worry. It don't need your help. Your body will die because it can only last so long. Okay, so it's going to one day it's going to stop. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to be dead. You laugh, that's what happens. You think I just said that to be funny. No, that's what happens. You wake up dead. The scripture says, in hell, he lifted up his eyes. So everybody's going to lift up. In other words, see, you go to sleep, and then pretty soon your eyes open. But the sleep is not as long as you think. It's one of them. You want to know how long that sleep is? That's how long that sleep is. You lay down, and the next thing you know, you wake. And you probably never go to sleep again because you won't need any more rest because your body will never get tired. So you get to go wherever you want, do whatever you want. Go to Pluto. Go visit Pluto. Mars or Saturn. Well, there's no distance in the spirit realm. You can do what you want to do. So you'd be dead then. I said you're going to wake up dead. Yeah, you can wake up dead. You say, where am I? You better hope you see something nice. That's all I got to say. If you wake up and it's hot, next message. You don't like that. Did you ever find Colossians chapter 3? Okay, Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. And whatsoever you do, do it heartily as what? To the Lord, and not unto men, knowing that of the Lord you shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for you serve who? You serve who? So who do you serve? Who do you serve? Okay, Galatians chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5. When you have it, say I have it. Okay, Galatians chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5, verse 13. Look at your neighbor and say, make sure you read this one. Go ahead, tell him. Make sure you read this one. Say, don't miss this one. Say, underline this one. This one's for you. Okay. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty, only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love, read the rest. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. So we're supposed to serve God, and who else we're supposed to serve? Okay. Romans chapter 7. So we looked at what is service. We looked at who do we serve. Okay, what is service? Okay, let's all get on the same page, okay? Real simple. Say, service is working as hard as a slave as unto the Lord. Don't ever forget that, because that's what service is. It's working as hard as a slave as unto the Lord. Okay? Service is work. Helps ministry is work. It's going to cost you some time. It's going to cost you some work. You want an example of what work is? Okay, I'll give you an example of helps ministry, of someone that served in helps ministry. I can only use myself. I started serving helps ministry in September of 1979. And at that time, I started as an usher. Ushers had to be at church at 6 a.m. every Sunday morning. Or if it was Bible study, an hour before Bible study. And we were the first ones to get there and the last ones to leave. That was in 1979. Now, because I was an usher, starting in September of 1979, and I never stopped being an usher the whole 16 years I was at CCC, my first day of being an usher was September of 1979, and my last day of being an usher was December of 1993. So I never stopped. So every Sunday that I went to church, I was there at 6 a.m. for 16 years. Now, that's just because I was an usher, but I was also singing in the choir at that time. So, I would make some adjustments during the day, and then I started working in the youth department. So I was an usher, singing in the choir, working in the youth department. And working in the youth department, I had to be there not only Sunday morning, but Sunday night, Tuesday night, Friday night, and Saturday. That was the youth department. Sunday, still got there at 6 a.m. Taught my class at 8 a.m., okay? And then there was Sunday night, taught a class Sunday night. Tuesday night, taught another class. Friday night, taught another class. And Saturday was activities. We're talking service, okay? Driving my own car, using my own gas. Working as hard as a slave. Hello? Then some things adjusted and became not president, but a vice president of the Men's Fellowship. So that meant I had to be there Sunday all the time. Anyway, we lived at church, okay, because that's what service was. Then I was on the Men's Fellowship. Then I was the head of the intercessors. Had to come in an extra day just so I could intercede and make sure that the prayer warriors were praying right. And then after a while, then I started teaching the youth department, teaching the teachers. I had an instructional class for the teachers, helping them do curriculum, things like that. And then I'm still an usher, still singing in the choir, still on the Men's Fellowship board, still an intercessor, but then I got to do something else. Then the apostle called me, wanted me to teach new members class. I had to do that on Sunday in between services. See, I come to the first service, sit down, hear the word, do my usher work before, and then in between services, first service, second service, I taught new members class. That was every Sunday. And then after a couple of years, they wanted me to teach the counselors class, personal ministry class, teach the counselors how to be counselors. So I had to teach that class. I was still an usher, still singing in the choir, still working in the youth department, still on the men's fellowship board. Y'all complaining about one little Mickey Mouse Helps Ministry. Can't believe it. That's why I have no mercy. Because I know what I did. See, I did what that scripture said. I voluntarily worked as hard as a slave as unto the Lord. The only difference was I didn't complain. Because I did it as unto the Lord. See, when you do it as unto the Lord, complaint is not even a possibility. It doesn't even come out of your mouth. Because God is judging your heart. So if you're complaining, your heart ain't right. You should sit down. You should quit. I just thought I'd let you know what service was all about. And then in 1985, Apostle says, well, I want you to teach in the school of ministry. Okay. Now, I don't know, is anybody here a school teacher? Guess ain't nobody raising their hand. Okay. No, I know there's school teachers here. I'm just curious, if you stop and think about it, school teachers, how many hours per week do you actually teach? Just think about it for a second. Anybody can give me a number? Today? A week. No, teach. You don't teach 40 hours. I know better than that. Think about a week. A week. Just think about your week at school. How many hours do you teach? Your max is probably 25. Or it might even be 15 to 25. I think that's, and if you're in college, it might be less than that. Okay? Okay, well, now mind you, I taught Sunday morning for an hour. Somebody count while I'm saying all this, okay? I taught Sunday morning for an hour. Okay? Got that? Sunday morning for an hour. I taught an hour in between services. Okay? I taught Sunday night an hour. Taught Tuesday night an hour. Taught Friday night an hour. Okay? You got that? Then on Thursday, I taught the counselors for 2 hours. Okay? Then I taught the usher training for an hour. That's 8? You got 8? Okay. Then I taught the intercessory prayer class for an hour. Doing okay? Did I add the counselors in there? Already added the counselors? So we're at 9? Okay. So then the teachers class, the curriculum class, another hour. Then Dr. Price decided he wanted me to teach in school of ministry. Oh, my goodness. Now, that was 17 hours a week. How many hours is that? So I'm up 27 hours, but I'm still an usher. I'm still invited to the men's fellowship, still in the choir. Hello? I'm still teaching all them classes. 17 hours a week for 7 years. I did it for 7 years. I'm talking about Working Helps Ministry. Service is what? No. Service is what? Service is. Service is. Look at your neighbor and say, don't you ever complain again about what you're doing. Because I guarantee you, nobody in this church doing that. because I wouldn't let you. I wouldn't let you work that hard. So you shouldn't complain. People talk about Jesus. Everybody, oh, I want to be in ministry. I'm called to the ministry. Got called yesterday, want a church tomorrow. No training. No training at all. And then the Lord leads me to have a training class. And I guarantee you what we teach, you can't get nowhere else. The experience you get, you can't get it anywhere else. I ought to charge. I'm going to start charging. Revelation. But wait a minute. That class is not that long, but let's say you stay in the class 5-6 years. How long did it take Jesus to train for ministry? How long? 30 years for a 3-year ministry. You want to train 5 minutes for a 40-year ministry. He wasn't ready till after 30 years. What makes you think you're ready after 10 minutes? And ministry is serious. You have to learn how to deal with people. You have to learn how to confront people that don't want to be confronted. You have to learn how to correct people and not get in the flesh. Because people make you want to go off. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Huh? You deal with folks, they make you want to go off. I mean, really want to go off. Not only get in the flesh, get in their flesh. But you need to be trained to do that. You need to be trained to be patient. One of the things that ministers have to learn first is patience. And when they come ask me, well, Pastor, when are you going to use me? Never. That's a dumb question. All you have to do is read the scripture. This is for the ministers or anybody else think they call. Turn to Habakkuk. God already told you, but you didn't listen to him, so I'm going to tell you again. Say Habakkuk chapter 2. When you have it, say I have it. I know the pages will be turning. I see cobwebs coming out of the scriptures, all kind of things. People looking for a backup. Somebody say, a hookah? So if you say you called, you better memorize this. Because God's going to say 3 words here. It's going to blow your mind. I guarantee you haven't seen those 3 words. I know you haven't seen those 3 words. You would never ask that question. Have you got Habakkuk chapter 2 yet? Yes. Okay. Verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and do what? Okay, number 1. Most have never written the vision that God has given them down. They've never written it. That's a vision for your ministry. Is it on paper? See, I should be able to say, bring me your vision. Let me see what God told you to do. And I guarantee you, I'll look at it and tear it up and throw it right back at you. So ain't no vision. That ain't even a good job. You have to write it. Mine was this thick. When I went and saw Apostle and was telling him I was starting a church in St. Louis, he said, well, what you got for me? See, I was ready for him. Had a book that thick, a binder that thick. Every single helps ministry that we had was already written down in that book. The helps ministry handbook that people in helps ministry get today was in that book in 1989 when I went to see it. All this stuff was already written up. I haven't had to write up nothing new. It was already done back then. Every single helps ministry. Hadn't even started a helps ministry. Didn't even have a church. But every one of them was written down. Why? He said, write it down and make it plain. That's what I did. You call, haven't written nothing down. You say you call, but you haven't written nothing down. Hello? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Why you sitting there looking crazy? Wise and otherwise? Not only are you supposed to write the vision down, you should at least have the message written down. What message? The message that God gave you for your ministry. You say you called, then you have to have something to say to people. Amen. So what did he tell you to say? I had every single class that you take here was already written down and prepared when I walked into that man's office in September of 1989. Outline form, just like it is today. You know why? Preparation of the gospel. I was ready. But how many of you are ready? Oh, you want to start a church? Can't count to 5. Write the vision and make it plain upon tables. Why? That he may run that what? You know why? Because, see, you have to read the vision. The vision is on every document that we have. If you remember, you should have read the vision. This class I'm teaching is a part of the vision class. This class was developed in 1985. I know you think you're sitting there saying, oh, man, I got a lot of work to do. Yes, you do. You ain't as ready as you think you are. But I'm going to get ready to read the statement. This one statement here lets me know you ain't ready. Watch. Verse 3. For the vision is yet for what? For what? God, why did you have me turn to these scriptures this morning? This is not a part of my lesson. Look at your neighbor and say, you need this. Say, you might be the one that really needs this. Okay, look at the other person and say, God is trying to tell you something. Look back at the other person. Say, God's trying to tell you don't be a fool. Everybody think they're ready. They ain't ready. And it's easy to show you that you're not ready. Okay? And I'm showing you this out of the kindness of my heart because I love you. Why? Because I love people, and I know when you put the wrong person in charge of people, they misuse people, abuse people, hurt people. You got to love people, care about people, know how to correct people according to the word, and out of the kindness of your heart, you have to be gentle and kind and patient with people because people are crazy. Okay? But you have to have the patience to deal with them. Hello? See, that person sitting next to you, they ain't all there. See, they may look all right, but they may not all be there. You're looking at them in the eyes, they looking, eye over here, eye over here. Oh, what are you talking about? And you sitting in church next to him. That might be your next pastor. He got one eye back here, one eye over there. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for what? Okay, in this, write this in your notes, because I want you to understand the appointed time. This is one of the most misunderstood principles in the Bible. Number one, the appointed time is A, when you are ready. The appointed time, it's not going to be before you're ready. It's only going to be when you're ready. And B, God makes the appointment, not you. You can't make that appointment. You can't say, I'm going to run out and start a church. That's why churches are so small. Because God's not going to give you thousands of people, you can't handle 15. For the vision is just for appointed time, but at the end, it what? Shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. I can't hear you. Huh? See, those are the 3 words that most men and women don't know about ministry. What does God say? And then he gives you a promise. He says, first of all, wait for it is a command. But then he gives you a promise. Because what? It will what? Surely come. It will not tarry. God says it's going to surely. If he calls you, he's gonna fulfill what he wants to do in your life. But you got to wait for it. I said you got to wait for it. You know what's supposed to be happening while you're waiting? Huh? What are you supposed to be doing? Serving. Yeah, but you really want to see what's supposed to be happening while you're waiting? See, the people that are waiting, according to the word, something supernatural is happening in their lives. I'm sure. I'm going to read the scripture. You've probably seen the scripture, but you didn't know it was for people in ministry. Okay? Turn to Isaiah chapter 40. Isaiah chapter 40. See, we went from preparation to, in health ministry, to preparation for ministry. Watch this. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29. Says, he giveth power to the what? Faint. He giveth what? Faint. Power to the what? Faint. The faint is y'all that can't wait. Y'all in a hurry. You faint. You ain't ready. Okay? But he gives what? Power. God gives you power, and to them that have no might, he does what? So that's what's supposed to be happening while you're waiting. God has given you power. He's given you the ability to do what he has called you to do when you're waiting right. And you don't want to miss this power. You don't want to miss this ability. Look at the next verse. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly what? And that's what they're doing. They've fallen on their face because they ain't ready to do what God called them to do. But watch. But they that do what? They that do what? Shall what? Renew their strength. That's a special renew. All it means is you exchange your strength for his strength. That way you're not doing it on your own. You're doing it being led by him. So he gives you the power. He gives you the ability, but you got to do something crazy. What? Wait. You got to wait on the Lord. They shall mount up with wings as eagle. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not what? You will develop a faithfulness and a commitment and a steadiness that you will never understand while you're waiting on God.